Okay, you've never seen anything like Norwegian Constitution Day. Don't get it twisted either. As an immigrant, do not call it Norwegian Independence Day. You'll be corrected so quickly. It's not the same. But I do think that the Day of Norwegian Independence has something to do with why Norwegian Constitution Day is such a big deal in Norway. So the 17th of May is like one of the biggest holidays in Norway. And it is comparable to the 4th of July in America. But even for all the patriotism we have in America, 4th of July is like, you just grill. You just like grill out and barbecue. But as you can see, there's like corpse behind me. They've like tripled the tram capacity in Trondheim. We've got every kid from every school in the entire district, like basically the state, here out to do a parade. It's huge. It is nothing like, it is so much more of a big deal than 4th of July, even though we think of America as so patriotic. And in my opinion, this does have to do with the Norwegian Independence Day. So Norwegian Constitution Day dates from around 1814, so about 200 years ago. But first of all, Norway was still under Swedish rule for a long time after that, like 85 years after they wrote their own constitution. And under varying reasons, they were not allowed to celebrate their Constitution Day on May 17th because the Swedish people, the Swedish overlords, didn't like it. So it wasn't really until 1865 that they really started upping the celebrations and having the children's parade. So that makes it much later. And then it wasn't until 1906, I might get that 1 or 2 years off, but the first decade of the 1900s, that Norway was actually independent. So you think about, first of all, this is a nation that has only had independence for 119 years. So it's still like new and really exciting, and it wasn't that long ago that people probably could have remembered what it was like to not have independence. I mean, even a generation ago, you would have had people alive from 1901. And also because of this, because Norway was traditionally colonized by either Denmark or Sweden until around 1906, there hasn't been in Norway the negative experience with patriotism that quite in the same way you see in other countries. Like we in America and in Germany, so you have some like historically problems with being too excited about being American or German. And so there's a little bit of a like, it's not like really okay to get too into that. But Norway hasn't had that problem. They were the underdogs and they haven't been able to celebrate that long. So people get so excited. If you add to this that World War II broke out about 35 years after Norway had first become an independent nation, and Norway was the only of the Scandinavian nations to actually resist the Nazis, they have a lot of pride in that, and the Nazis did not let them celebrate 17 Mai then either. So you have a nation that's only really been celebrating it properly in their mind since 1865, only independent since 1906. Then there's a period where they're like really fighting to maintain their independence from the Nazis and not allowed to celebrate. And I think you have the recipe for why 17 Mai is a bigger deal than you could ever imagine an independence or a Constitution Day being pretty much anywhere else.